guys, it's me, and I'm coming to you with a brand new episode of Why I Love This Card. This week, I'm doing a little card called Magical Spring. This card came out recently. It is a quick play spell card, and just to tell you guys what it does, first off, is draw a number of cards equals the number of face-up spell or trap cards your opponent controls, then discard a number of cards equal to the number of face-up spell or trap cards you control. To the end of your opponent's next turn, after this card is activated, spell or trap cards your opponent controls cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. Also, their activation and effects cannot be negated. You can only activate one magical spring per turn. So, this card can actually have a lot of uses. One, you get to draw cards. In the format of today, there are not many decks that are outside of the pendulum deck. That is pendulum decks that are coming out. Specifically Perform Mages and Pals, currently Pepe, Pendulum, Perform Mages, Lesser Pendulum, DDDs. Ignites are mediocre. Dynamists are coming out, are in Bosch. Magispectors are big right now, and Magicians are coming out, or actually just came out the other day. And of course, I just went over these. And this can be extremely useful because a lot of pendulum cards get effects off of being destroyed. There is a counter fairy trap card that is actually coming out soon, where if it gets destroyed from anywhere, you get to add a counter trap card to your hand, which is ridiculously overpowered. Perform H plus fire when it's destroyed. You get to either special summon itself or special summon another Perform H. I can't think of it off the top of my head. And there are a lot of effects that really take a boost off of that just because they don't really go anywhere. They just go to the extra deck, and then you can easily just get pluses off of it. I mean, Draco Slayer, Lesser Pendulum, the Draco Slayer, you can just get just so many pluses off of him destroying a card and then searching. So this card can actually be very beneficial, especially if you're not playing a Pendulum deck, such as Cosmos. Cosmos are the number one deck right now. That might change when we get the Perform Mage and Pals deck absolutely complete. Who knows? But one thing's for sure, those are probably going to be the top two decks. But Magical Spring can really just end Pendulum decks, and Cosmos can help take advantage of that, because really the only continuous spell card of any form that they really play is Cosmo Town, and even then they kind of want it destroyed sometimes. So Magical Spring is pretty useful for them. On top of that, their new support, which was recently released, recently leaked for, I believe, Breakers of Shadow. If not, then it would be Shining Victories, which is the next set to come out after Bosch. The whole new support that they're getting is all about sending Cosmo monsters to the graveyard and getting pluses off of that. So Magical Spring can actually be very, very beneficial for the new Cosmo deck. So Magical Spring, yes, very, very good. Also to note, this card can actually shut down Wavering Eyes. If you don't know what Wavering Eyes is, it came out, it officially came out as a limited edition card with the past set. I think it was 2 sets ago. I can't remember what it is for the life of me. But this card lets you destroy as many cards in either player's pendulum zones as possible, then apply these effects in sequence depending on the number of cards destroyed by this effect. 1 or more, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. 2 or more, you can add 1 pendulum monster from your main deck to your hand. 3 or more, you can banish 1 card on the field. And 4, you can add 1 Wavering Eyes from your deck to your hand. So this can just shut it down because it wouldn't be able to destroy anything. Your opponent would not get any pluses. And the fact that Magical Spring is a plus is a quick play spell, you can chain it. So it's very, very useful for dealing with Wavering Eyes. The other card is Chicken Game, and I put this on here that just to be kind of a little bit like this could be used in conjunction if your opponent is playing Chicken Game. And the reason why is because this one, the player with the lowest life points takes no damage. So if you're in a bind and you really want Chicken Game to stay, because one, it'll OTK you if you don't, and your opponent will not necessarily OTK you, but like will beat you, because it can destroy itself, and then you can get some draw power off it and get some extra protection because they can't get rid of Chicken Game. So that can actually be pretty useful just as like a tech against your opponent if they do choose to play any form of Chicken Game deck. mainly because Chicken Game is just so ridiculously OTK centric, just because it lets you draw, just the draw power that it has, and it just sets you up so you don't take a lot of damage. Other than whatever you want to pay in order to either keep it on the field so you can draw, or gain back 1,000 life points, or give your opponent 1,000 life points, which really wouldn't work unless like you're behind, just so you can protect yourself even further. But that's really not necessary, just because you already pay 1,000 life points, or you can just draw a card. But yeah, so like using your opponent's Chicken Game against them is pretty useful. The last card I want to mention is Vanity's Emptiness, and this is a card that I was thinking about possibly being able to use pretty nicely with Magical Spring, and that is because you can actually, again, just like Chicken Game, use Vanity's Emptiness against your opponent. I've been seeing a lot of deck profiles, specifically Cosmos, and I've been seeing a lot of deck profiles with the new Pendulum decks, where the only trap card that they're playing is Vanity's Emptiness, and that's because it really helps shut down your opponent. It's a good floodgate for that. Mainly because so many decks are just so OTK centric. The only deck that really won't be bothered by Vanity's Emptiness is Monarchs, but you can actually use Vanities against your opponent with Magical Spring. One, if your opponent tries to get rid of it on their turn because they stopped, you can be like, no, you're not going to play either. Activate Magical Spring when they try to send a card from their field or deck to graveyard. Vanity's Emptiness cannot be destroyed due to Magical Spring, and you get a draw for it. So this can Magical Spring not only has its pluses just for being a draw power, but it also has pluses because it can really put your opponent in a bind and preventing them from destroying their spell cards and their trap cards that really can be detriment to them sometimes, like Chicken Game and Vanity's Emptiness. So thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, guys, have a great day.